Welcome everyone to our Power Users Guide. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So this is for you to have a great step-by-step how you're going to get most out of our programs, basically out of any programs, but really out of the programs that John Kurth and Brigitta Hoeferle do together. John, thank you for being on again today.
Thanks, Brigitta.
We are all about your goal in optimizing your learning now, and we're going to give you the step-by-steps to that. And there's a big disclaimer in this: only listen to this in a prepared, safe space. Not while driving your car, not while driving heavy machinery. Please make sure that you're listening to this and to our courses in a safe space, in a safe environment where you're not multitasking, but staying very present to what we're talking. Consistency and persistence is part of your retention. It is your retention. And there's a great rule of thumb and a great combination. So here's the combination. Make sure that you have something to write with and something to write on, as it is part of your learning. Always take great notes, because we're not giving you everything on these slides. So write this down. Here's the combination. For your retention, the combination is 10, 24, 7. So let's imagine you're opening this lock. You're going to go to 10, because you're going to review for 10 minutes. Then you're going to go to 24, because you're going to review for 24 hours. And then you're going to go to 7, because you're going to do this for 7 days. 10, 24, 7. You're going to review for 10 minutes within the 24 hours that you have learned what you're learning for 7 days in consistency. Your retention when you do this will increase up to 80%. So let's go into the what you do not know, what you know, and what you don't know, what you know you don't know. The biggest part in this is what you don't know what you don't know. I know that sounds very, very cheesy, but listen, there's so much that we can't even think of what we don't know yet. That's why it is a constant learning. That is why it is a constant looking into what possibly do you not know yet. Breakthroughs happen when you go from what you don't know, and going into other sections of the pie. If you are in the what you don't know section, then hire an expert like John Kurth and Brigitta Hoeferle and learn what they do. You also have other choices to study the material until it becomes what you do know. Hiring an expert is the fastest way, like John and Brigitta. John?
Thanks, Brigitta. And let's talk about the golden nuggets and the 80-20 rule. Many of you have heard of the 80-20 rule, otherwise known as the Pareto principle, named after a famous Italian economist. And what he found is that what you do, 20% produces 80% of your results. It's called the 80-20 rule. So only the 20% of the things that you do produces 80% of your results. So you can apply the 80-20 rule to ideas. So you're listening to the programs that Brigitta and I have produced. In addition to what you're going to be writing down, you're going to be writing down all the great ideas. And as you're taking notes, you're going to be circling great ideas. Then take those ideas and put them on a separate sheet of paper. Let's use an example. You've got 10 great ideas that you've learned from our program. List them through 1 to 10, just list them, and then circle what you think are the top 2 ideas. Implement those top 2 ideas first in your business. We're all about applying. You apply those top 2 ideas in your business, it's going to propel your business forward. So then look at the rest and take the next top 2, the next top 2. This is how you optimize your application, because Brigitta and I are all about delivering so much value. We provide content-rich programs. you're going to have too many great ideas, but it only takes one good idea to transform your business or to transform your life. So to make it more manageable, list them all. I'm just using an example. You've got 10 great ideas that you've learned from one of our programs. Circle the top 2 and implement those first. That's the 80-20 rule applied to ideas. Let's go on to the next step, the next slide. The 5 stages of mastery on how to accelerate your learning. Well, first you got to start with some definitions. What is a novice? A person new to a field or activity. In internet parlance are called newbies. Second, an amateur is one lacking professional skill in a chosen area. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, they're amateurs. A professional is having experience in a particular field or activity. An expert is a person with a high grade of skill or knowledge of a certain subject, and a master is a highly skilled expert. You are going through all 5 stages. Brigitta and I have a lovely saying, you can't skip steps. You got to know where you are and then figure out where you want to go. Now, the fastest way to accelerate your learning is to work with masters or even grandmasters in a certain subject area. If you find a master or grandmaster who is willing to teach you, seize the opportunity. When you work with masters or grandmasters, it will save you years of wasted effort, and you can start getting the tremendous results now. Brigitta.
Yeah, let's look at repetition. Repetition is the first law of learning. Have you ever read a book twice? I love to read my books twice, and I love to read them with different highlighters. So the first time I read it, I highlight areas that stand out to me with a yellow highlighter. The second time around, I highlight it with an orange highlighter. Third time around, I highlight it with a green highlighter. Every time I read the book, something else stands out to me. You probably heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's why doing something over and over and over again is going to be the greatest rule that you can apply in your life and in your learning. When you read it the second time over again, you discover new information that you can then apply. You might get overwhelmed if you only read it once and you're overwhelmed by all of the information. You want to go back. You want to embrace being overwhelmed, because remember, confusion precedes clarity. You want to go back. You want to highlight. You want to go through our content-rich information again, over again and again and again, and continue to learn and pick out what stands out to you at any given moment. John.
Thanks, Brigitta. So Brigitta and I are grandmasters of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And the most powerful supercomputer in the world is the human mind. You program the human mind with language. That's why it's neuro-linguistic programming. So there's many different layers of language. There's many different advanced language patterns that we teach. NLP is sometimes called the technology of success. So today I'm going to cover 4 layers of language. So really there's 4 layers of language. There's business language. This is when you're working with a customer. And for yourself, you're listening to ideas that you can apply in your business and in your life. This is one layer. It's called the business language layer. Next layer, Brigitta. Key phrases. You want to listen to key phrases that will resonate with you. You're like, hey, I want to write that one down. It's resonating because it's working. It's resonating because they are advanced language patterns. Brigitta and I just naturally, because we are grandmasters and we followed everything that we're teaching, we just speak them at one after another after another. And people are like, we get such great results with you because of the key language patterns that we're using. So, and if you've studied NLP before, I want you to listen and write down what advanced language patterns are Brigitta and I using. Let's then go to phonetic layer. The phonetic layer is all about tonality, volume, pitch, speed, and pauses. Tonality, volume, pitch, speed, and pauses. You want to be listening to our phonetic layer. And especially when we use pauses, pauses are some of the most powerful tools you have. So listen to the phonetic layer that Brigitta and I are using, but also listen for pauses and how we effectively use them. Let's next get on to the word catalog layer. Pay attention to the three main word catalogs or language predicates that we're using. People use these: visual language predicates, auditory language predicates, or kinesthetic language predicates. Visual words: see, sight, vision. There are thousands of them. Auditory words: boom, loud, screech, sound, whisper. Kinesthetic words: that's all about the language of touch and feeling. Hot, cold, touch, feel, caress, kiss. You're going to be noticing why are Brigitta and I so effective with our teachings is because we are cycling through those three main word catalog layers, and we're adjusting our phonetic layer, voice, volume, rate, and pitch as well. Brigitta.
Yes, we have incredible followers. We have incredible people that work with us because they want to master what John and I do as grandmasters of NLP and clearly grandmasters of the communication model, because practice makes the master. By modeling, by expert modeling, that's what NLP is all about. You become a master. You become very fluent in what you are doing when you practice it over and over again. Now, be very mindful of who you model. There's a wonderful German saying, and that is, no master has fallen from heaven. That means that you must go through the cycles and the 5 stages of mastery. You cannot skip steps, as John said earlier. Brigitta and John, we're here together, the Grandmasters of NLP. We didn't wake up just one morning and say, poof, here we are, we're Grandmasters of NLP. That's not what happened. It took many years and lots of practice and a lot of feedback for us to continue to learn, and we are continuing to learn in what we are giving you and what the content-rich information that we're bringing to you. Your goal is authentic mastery, not just any kind of mastery, authentic mastery. You're not going to become John Kurth or Brigitta Hoeferle. You are going to integrate what you're learning with us into your genius. You are all already equipped with a genius. We like to say, eat the chicken, spit out the bones. Eat what applies to you or keep what applies to you and let go of the rest. There's enough application, enough implementation, what we're teaching you in our content-rich information that you can immediately apply in your business. You cannot copy someone. You're not going to be a copycat. You're going to implement what we're giving you into your own business. You are becoming the greatest version of your own self. There's only one Brigitta. There's only one John. You are going to become your greatest self, and we model that excellence for you. So the model is, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? And how are we doing it? When you are very clear on what you are focusing on and what you are modeling and solidifying that in your own life, in your own business, that's when you are going to become the expert in your field, and you're going to stand out from everyone else because you have created your own greatest self. So in order to create that own self, you must remain present and focused. You must remain so focused, knowing with your well-formed outcomes where you're going to, what is it that you want, and by when do you want it. And you got to do this with the content-rich information that we're giving you in the safe space that we are providing if we're doing these live online trainings, and the environment that you're working in. Remember at the very beginning, we said, do this, stay present, and do this in an environment that you can be safe. Don't listen to our information, to our courses in the car or while driving any kind of machinery. Be very, very conscious of the context, the container, the environment that you're creating for yourself. Once you have a very clear and safe environment, the content may flow into that. Imagine, let's take this cup that you see here on the screen. Imagine this being a real cup. And imagine, say this is a paper cup, like a Starbucks cup, and you would take a pin and start puncturing the cup, and you would fill in your water or your tea. What would happen? It would sift out through the holes that you punctured the cup with. Make sure that you have a tight container, that all of the information that we're pouring so strategically into you, that it stays, and that you are reviewing, and that you are continuing to use the dial, to use the combination that we gave you at the very moment, at the very beginning. Let go of this phrase. This phrase, when you tell yourself or someone else that you already know that, all of the learning will immediately stop. And you're doing yourself a disservice. There's always, in everything that you do, there's always something that you can learn. And when you can see that for yourself, for your own life, you're going to be a continuous learner. Because quite frankly, if you don't learn, you die. So we're here to continue to give you content-rich information. We're here to really take you through all of the layers, because as we say here, what you think, you will become. What you feel, you will attract. What you articulate, you generate. And what you imagine, you create. So I'm going to leave you with this. Invest in your inner work so your outer world does. John, thank you for being on. Guys, see you very soon.